One great friend who has seized the opportunities offered by technology with the perspicacity of a fine-tuned mind is Glenn Gould. But then he is unique among musicians. Broadcaster, composer, writer, and brilliant pianist, he came to terms with his solitary nature instead of battling with it. His last concert was given in 1964. Since then, he has concentrated entirely on music in the media.
Now, Yehudi, you've got to admit that you would not be likely to encounter a sound like that in the concert hall.
I would still recognize your playing. To me, whatever you have added from the electronic gear does not add very much to the basic clarity and perfection, the relationship of the voices, which is your way of playing.
If I were to play that in a concert hall, I would not be free to select that perspective which we just heard and which represents for me a very tight clinical X-ray-like, if you will,
yes.
But very precise and at the same time very intimate view of that work, and one which enables me to dissect it, to analyze it in very special ways. I would be forced up on the platform, I would be forced to find a sort of compromise posture in terms of perspectives, one which might be satisfactory both for the guy who's sitting right down beneath the lip of the stage in the front row, another one for the standee up beyond the far balcony or whatever. And the compromise result, as you well know, I don't need to tell you that, is that ultimately you end up trying to find a median for the guy who's sitting in row L in the orchestra.
You are building a structure which must correspond to your vision, naturally.
Absolutely.
And anything that helps it is legitimate. There I'm with you. But take the Beatles, for instance, who started out playing concerts in public and played spontaneously and wonderfully. By the time they became accustomed to the aids of the recording techniques, they could no longer play in public.
Yeah, well, I understand that. In a sense, that's also what happened to me, because I found that I was competing with my own recordings, which I could not do. Nobody can do that, really. And my recordings represented my best thoughts more and more as I went along.
But I refuse to believe that. I know that you are saying this absolutely sincerely, but I do not believe, because I've heard you play, that you couldn't, if you wanted to, carry off a performance in the concert hall, which would be as staggering as anything you do in the recording studio.
Yeah, but Yehudi, it comes down to something else, I think, that if, for example, an actor wants to deliver a proper to be or not to be, now he may do that in the context of the play Hamlet, as we know it, from first word to last. Or he may, like John Gould used to do a traveling routine in which he gets up and reads selected excerpts, and that's one of them. Why then is it not possible? Or rather, why do you resist the idea that it is possible for you, for me, for anyone, to cut in on one particular note and say that is the mood, that is the tenor, that is the emotion behind that note? Slide 2, but don't take out 1. hold one. Keep two. Keep. Don't take out one. Keep. No. That's plenty. Don't take out one. Bring in three. Gradually, very gradually, slowly, very slowly, very slowly. Shouldn't be up yet. Full. Now, at the top of this phrase, three should reach its climax. A little bit more, a little bit more. This should be the top of three, right in this chord. Lovely. That's gorgeous. Okay, hold that. Don't touch four yet. Hang on. Don't let one. Lovely. Beautiful. Now, get ready for four right after, and don't leave two and three in. Okay, bring up four gently. Here we come. That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Now, on that, take down two and three slowly. Leave up four. Take down two and three. Lovely. Take it down, on the pause. And just leave four there.
Are you sure, once you've made the recording, that you aren't, to a certain extent, ignoring your listener? Are you perfectly sure that when that listener who has bought your record is listening to it with the same devotion, the same concentration as in a concert hall?
No.
I mean, he may be interrupted by telephones or frying bacon or all kinds of things, whereas there's something in the concert hall which is compelling. Besides, certain types of music are a communal experience. I think that the St. Matthew Passion of Bach certainly was meant to be a communal experience. The whole congregation was meant to feel as one about it and to react as one.
Well, when two or three are gathered together and all of that, Yehudi, it seems to me that there is no greater community of spirit than that between the guy who sits at his modest control panel at home and communes with
the
spirit of the music as
true,
relayed
but
by the artist.
that may be an idealized vision, Glenn. I wonder
I don't
what
think
proportion.
It's impractical. On the contrary, I would even go so far as to say that perhaps the most important thing that technology does is free the listener to participate in ways that at all earlier periods of history were
yes, but
ways that were governed by the performer. It gives him certain options that he didn't have before.
I agree with all of that, but I don't think it invalidates the concert hall. I think the experience of the concert hall is something which is essential, which has always got to remain as the standard against which everything else is judged.
Nonsense. I mean, it was the standard until something came along to replace it. But this surely is now the standard by which it must be judged.
But what I mean, if no one's ever going to climb a mountain again, and everyone, the whole world, is going to be satisfied with films about it, where are we? If no one
We're without people who can climb mountains, which I think is a profoundly good thing. It'll save any number of deaths per year.
Oh no, Glenn, you mustn't say that.
I do say that.
And you'll make up with ignoble deaths on the roads.
Well, if I had the technology available to prevent them, I'd do that too.